Hello everyone, this is Colin once again. I'm making this video on a very neutral topic and one that I have just been informed about not too long ago. It's sort of a two-part issue that's going on right now on the internet and the YouTube community at large. Essentially, this all began when I was talking to a good friend of mine named Rex. Now, Rex is the host of the online radio show Islam and Friends and Rebel Radio, and he recently has been verbally spoken about by a pretty famous Christian commentator and debater here on YouTube by the name of Dr. Oakley. That's his screen name. He goes by the name Dr. James White. Now, as many of you know, I've made several videos, maybe a handful of videos, against James White, talking about various topics that he mentioned in his own videos, and I made refutation videos to those points. He responded to me one time in a very condescending way, trying to tell me that I didn't know what I was talking about, but actually that's all really old news. That's stuff that if you've been watching my videos for the past 2 years, you would know about. Actually, we're here to talk about the situation with Rex. Now, James White, and I've heard the recording from his radio talk show representing his ministry, Alpha and Omega Ministries. He talked about Rex. Now, Rex made a video for Islam and Friends where he discussed the fact that James White had agreed to talk about to debate a brother Imran, who's very famous in India. He's in the same tradition of debaters like Dr. Zakir Naik and Sheikh Ahmed Deedat, and that they were going to try to get a debate scheduled. It was Rex appeared to be the middleman, and he was trying to get a debate to go on between brother Imran and Dr. James White. Now, in the recording, James White is commenting and saying that Rex is insinuating, at least this is how I heard the recording, is that he was insinuating that Rex was making all of this up, that there was no such thing as a possible debate between him and brother Imran, essentially insinuating that a lot of this was embellishments by Rex himself. Now, another thing he also mentioned in the debate, in the video that Rex made, was that Rex was talking about the debate that happened between Sami Zaatari, as I've heard it pronounced, and James White, which happened in the UK. Now, Rex, in the video, says that Sami wiped the floor, annihilated James White, if I can quote him correctly, and James White responded by laughing and basically made ad hominem attacks against not only against Rex, but against Sami as well, and really didn't respond in due course, but I think he might leave that for another time. Another reason why I'm making this video is not only to mention all of that, and as a neutral viewer of this, but also to look at a debate that I had the privilege of seeing only a number of parts of. It was uploaded by a user who closed to his account, sadly enough, by the name of Yeshua is my Lord. Not to be confused with Yeshua is my Lord, who is aka Silas here on YouTube. Yeshua is my Lord was a man who claimed to be, I believe he was an agnostic, or at least a Christian who was looking deeper into his religious tradition, and had made several videos on textual criticism, and he definitely had no love for James White, and actually refuted James White on a number of topics, and topics about the textual transmission and original language of the Greek of the New Testament, and talked about very specific verses that were very questionable and things like this. What's interesting is that for a small amount of time, this user, before he closed his account, had uploaded portions of the debate between James White and Bart Ehrman over the topic, which was a play on Ehrman's own book, which I believe that the title of the debate was something to the effect of, does the Bible really misquote Jesus? Or something to that effect. Does the New Testament really misquote Jesus? The idea was to debate the idea of, does the New Testament actually misquote Jesus? Is there actual errors, corruptions, textual issues within the New Testament with regards to the spoken word and the message of Jesus Christ? Now, with that in mind, the person did not upload the full debate. So from the get-go, I have to confess that what I'm about to bring up was not an original video of mine, nor was it a whole video of the said debate. like I said, the user actually took down the video, excuse me, and then ended up closing his account for whatever reason. The point is that in this video, the clip that I saw between James White and Bart Ehrman, the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I'm going with the theme of James White debating people. And the idea here is that this was during the Crossfire section, and James asked Bart Ehrman the question about the Quran, and had asked him what he thought about the textual tradition of the Quran. I don't remember the exact word-for-word phrases that were used, but Ehrman apparently had said that he had been tired of James White asking him questions about Islam and the Quran. He said to James White, "I am not a Muslim," and was wondering, it seemed to me when I watched the clip, wondering why is Ehrman being asked by James White about the Quran, especially when the title of the debate is, does the New Testament, or like I said, or the Bible, misquote Jesus? What does the New Testament, what does the Bible, what does the topic of the Bible misquoting Jesus have to do with the Quran? And this was something that was very confusing to me. Having watched many debates with James White, I was confused as to why he would do this. Now, this user had made up his own mind about why James was doing this, and I actually agree with him, and I want to share this opinion with the rest of you and see what you think. Yeshua is my Lord had come to the conclusion the reason why James was trying to get Bart Ehrman to talk about the Quran was that James White is pissed off about Bart Ehrman. Bart Ehrman is an international best-selling author. He has written 3 volumes just to the layman public alone. He's the author of textbooks and other books on the textual tradition of the Bible and the New Testament. Frankly, his books do a number on Christianity and the Bible as a whole. And the people who utilize his books are not Bible Belt Christians, are not conservative Christians, are not fundamentalist Christians, are Christians who are not interested in looking at the hard questions of their faith. They are used by liberal Christians, people who are skeptical about the Bible, atheists, agnostics, Buddhists, Muslims, you pick it. Basically anyone who's not a conservative Christian, fundamentalist Christian. And that's fine. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with people deciding to read a book or not read a book. I'm just giving you a characteristic of who Ehrman's audience is. Now, these books, like I said, I've read all of his books, and I own, personally, Misquoting Jesus, Jesus Interrupted, and God's Problem. And Ehrman's books do a number on the Bible and on the message of Christianity, in my opinion. Now, Muslims utilize Ehrman's arguments. They utilize his books in debate and in conversation, layman conversation about theology. And this user, Yeshua is my Lord, was of the opinion that James White is not like that, because James White not only likes debating skeptics like Ehrman or other Christians like Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses, he likes debating Muslims. And it was this user's opinion, and I would have to agree with him, that James White was trying to get Ehrman to talk smack about the Quran so that he could say to Muslims, look, Ehrman thinks your book's corrupted just like mine. Therefore, why would you use his books? Because James White is so used to using the argument, let's be consistent. Which, of course, even what that means is up to debate from what one views consistency meaning. But in James White's opinion, his view of it is, if you are going to use an author, you should agree with the author, and not just pick and choose what you like from the author. I would have a feeling that's what he would be getting at. But the point is that Ehrman is a gentleman and a scholar, and he responded by saying and admitting that he did not know anything about the Quran's textual history, nor Islam. Regardless of whether he is I believe, what is he, the president of he's the head of the religious department at Whitechapel, the university he teaches at, does not mean that he has to be a scholar in every religious topic. You do not have to be knowledgeable about every religion, every aspect of every religion, to be the head of a department. And frankly, I think it was embarrassing to see such an off-topic concept brought up in this debate. So to me, I think that the deal here is that we will probably see events unfolding. I don't know where this now leads us as far as the story that's yet to be told about James White's criticism of Rex, but I have a feeling that it's not over. And I think that we have to ask ourselves important questions here when we are watching such big figures like James White and Rex. We have to ask ourselves the questions: what are they really trying to say? Note how they are addressing the audience. Notice what they are choosing to handle and what they're choosing not to handle when it comes to these topics. And just how much evidence, how much real meaningful evidence is brought forward to support their argumentation when it comes to their criticisms of other persons on the internet and elsewhere talking about religious topics. I know this was a random video, but I've made it, and I hope that it gives us food for thought when we are looking at speakers and analyzing what they are saying to us and where they're coming from. Thank you everyone for watching. Peace be with you all.